So 1, 2, 3, wide awake. So you having a good time at QCon?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. And what about you? Are you having a good time at QCon?
He says yes.
Come over here, come over here. It's cold outside. It's January 2023. I'm in my boots. It snowed last night and the pond's frozen over, and I had to crack it so that the fish can get a bit of air into the water. I'm feeling a bit silly to be outside, which is funny because, including that little clip you just saw, we're going to talk about doing silly skits. But enough of being outside. I'm going to continue this inside. Keep watching. Oh, back inside. It's a bit warmer in here than it was outside. Anyway, enough of that. My name's Tran Mirza. I'm a hypnotist and clinical hypnotherapist. I'm going to see some street hypnosis now. You've seen these two before. I'll put a link up in the info card so you can check their induction and first skit out, which is a foot stick, and you'll hear me maybe mentioning that slightly in this video clip this week. This week we're going to look at silly skits, as I commented on outside. And what does that mean? What is a silly skit? What makes a skit a silly skit? Well, we're always doing humour, we're always doing entertainment, so are there any holes barred? Is there anything you can't do? What should you do and should you not do? I'm going to discuss that after you see these two in action once again. You're going to see two skits from these folks. They were a lovely pair and they were great hypnotic subjects. So watch the video, let's have some fun and watch the video, but stay tuned after the video and listen to what I have to say about this little clip today, and give you some advice and guidance if you're doing street hypnosis, or even if you're just partaking in street hypnosis. I'm going to give you some information about hypnosis based on this skit today. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, make sure you give it a like, and don't forget to click the big subscribe button and that bell notification button next to the subscribe button so you get notified every time a new video comes out from myself. And if you have any comments, have any questions, leave it down in the comment section below, because I love reading and responding to your comments, and from time to time a very good question comes up and I make a video just for you. In the meantime, let's watch the video. In a minute, I'm going to count from 1 to 3. On the count of 3, you can open your eyes in the back room. Your legs will become unstuck. Your legs will become unstuck only as quickly as your names stick to the back of your mind. Only as quickly as your names stick to the back of your mind will your legs become unstuck. You know what it's like to forget a name. You see that name, that person on the TV, and you say, oh, I know that person's name, but its name is gone. It's just disappeared. It's forgotten. Nod your head that you understand. You will not be able to say your name. The more you try and say that name, the more it just sticks at the back of your mind. So 1, 2, 3, open your eyes. Check what your feet are like now. Good stuff. And I'm terrible because I didn't introduce myself. Your name is? Look at me. What's your name? It's gone now, isn't it? And your name is, when you try and say it? Look at me. What's your name? What's your name? Look at me. Your name's And what's your name, sorry? How do you try the hard sticks? Even if you hear your name, you can't say it. Even if you hear your name, you can't say it. What's your name?
Cody.
It's gone now. And your name is, when you try and say it, even if you hear it, you can't say it. What's his name?
Tyler.
What's your name, Tyler? Can't say it. Tyler, what's your name? How do you try the hardest sticks? Tyler, what's your name? Harder, try the hardest sticks. Locked and stuck in the back of your mind. That's right. And Cody, was it?
Yeah, Cody.
How do you try the hardest sticks? Cody, what's your name? What's your name, Cody? I notice now it's like your tongue's getting bigger now. The more you try and say it, the bigger your tongue gets. It starts to roll. There you go. It starts to roll out of your mouth. How do you try it? The bigger your tongue gets.
What's your name?
Come on, Cody. What's your name? Try and say it. Tyler, what's your name? Try and say it. Look at me and sleep now. Way down. Deeper, deeper, deeper relaxed. The deeper you go, the more relaxed you feel. The more relaxed you feel, the deeper you go. Drifting, sinking down, even deeper still. In a minute, I'm going to count from 1 to 3. On the count of 3, you'll no longer feel like your tongue's getting bigger, your tongue's back to its normal size, and you do remember your names. But just as quickly as your names come back to you, you'll realise that the person I'm touching now, only the person I'm touching now, you are a monkey. You are a monkey, and you can only speak in monkey language. Nod your head that you understand. You're a monkey. You might start sort of scratching under your armpits like a monkey. You might be doing monkey activities, but you can only speak. Whenever I ask you a question, you can only speak in monkey talk. Person I'm touching now, only the person I'm touching now. You are a famous zoologist. You are that famous zoologist, and you can understand what monkeys are saying. So you can translate whatever the monkey next to you is saying. Nod your head that you understand. Whatever sound you hear, you instantly know what they're saying, and you can translate that sound. Nod your head that you understand. So 1, 2, 3, wide awake. So you having a good time at QCon?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. And what about you? Are you having a good time at QCon?
He says yes.
Come over here. Come over here. Let's see if you're in shot. Let's see if you're in shot. There you go. Just about. Monkey, don't run away. Don't worry. Come here. So, where do you live?
Belfast.
Belfast Zoo?
Yes.
Okay. And what's your favourite food? What did she say?
She said. I sorry, I didn't hear your question.
What's your favourite food?
Banana.
Bananas. And how did you get down to QCon today?
Hunting trees.
Jumping the trees, very good. And look at me, and sleep now, way down, deeper, relaxed. Weren't they great stars? I think they were really fabulous. So let's break down those two skits and have a discussion about them. The first skit was generally what I would call name amnesia, but in this situation it really wasn't about amnesia and the inability to remember your name. Yes, they couldn't say it, but that was the predominant suggestion, that they couldn't say it, not that they couldn't remember it. In fact, throughout that, for both Tyler and Cody, I was saying their name. What's your name when you try and say it, Taylor? I would say that over and over again to him, and he couldn't say it. So amnesia can happen and be experienced in many ways, even if it's just the inability to say it, as opposed to inability to remember it. He obviously, at some level, would be hearing me say it, but his unconscious mind had accepted the suggestion that he couldn't say it. The second skit was where I made the girl, Cody, I made her think she was a monkey. While I was telling the chap, the Tyler, I was telling him he could translate for her. Now, in that skit, he's not really translating. He's not listening to her and accessing his database of, monkey, English monkey dictionary translator. He's making things up on his own. Hopefully that's clear, but a lot of people think that he's actually translating and ask me from time to time whether I'm saying one person's an alien and you can translate alien, or one person is a monkey and you're translating monkey. People say to me, how do they know what the other girl's saying, the other person's saying? And that's, because they really do think he's a translator. He's just using his imagination. And actually what was nice to see, I always pick out flaws in what happens. I don't worry about things not going perfect. What was nice to see in this video was at one point he didn't hear the question, so had no idea how to offer up a sensible answer. And I say sensible answer, he's hypnotized, it's in a funny situation, he's translating for a monkey, but the unconscious mind doesn't know the difference between reality and imagination. So let's talk about this idea of skits being silly. So what makes a silly skit? If I stick your feet to the floor, is that silly? Is that embarrassing? If I make you forget your name, or make you so that you can't say your name, is that embarrassing? Is that silly? Equally, if I make you cluck like a chicken, and that's a very stereotyped thing that people think about when they think about hypnosis, because in the early days of stage hypnosis, that was a regular event. They would be given the suggestion that they would cluck like a chicken. In this case, I made the girl, lean down on sort of her hind legs like a monkey and walk around. Was that silly? Was that embarrassing? I'm going to say that embarrassment's in the eye of the beholder, as it were. What is embarrassing and silly to one person might be okay and acceptable for another, but when that other persons in hypnosis, you've got to do some level of judgment call as to whether you're going to embarrass them. Now, from that point of view, and people often ask me the question, is it easier to hypnotize young people or older people? Now, the event I was at, which was QCon, was predominantly young people, 16, 18, 20, 21, 22, dressing up in costumes, anime costumes or whatever, and enjoying themselves. So in this event, I was obviously hypnotizing a lot of younger people, but hypnosis works just as well for older people. But the thing is, if someone's older, I'm going to be a bit more cautious about the level of craziness of the suggestion. Again, some hypnotists will do what we would call X-rated, very adult suggestions, and again, I try to stay away from those because I'm working as a professional hypnotherapist and don't want to be associated with rude or lewd sort of skits. But something like acting like a monkey, similar to clucking like a chicken, could be seen as a bit too embarrassing. But I gauged from the youth of these people that it would be acceptable. And again, they enjoyed it. They enjoyed that experience. So you can see that my judgment call was right there. But sometimes you have to walk a fine line. Always, in my experiences, is err in the side of caution. If you think somebody's not going to like it, then don't do it. Now, anything, because of the way I've described what embarrassment is or silliness is, anybody could feel embarrassed about the slightest of skits. Just sticking somebody's feet to the floor or making them forget their name could be seen as totally embarrassing. So you've got to be careful. A little anecdote of one time I was hypnotizing a woman maybe in her late 30s, 40s, and I'd successfully done several skits on her and knew she was well in hypnosis and accepting suggestions, and I asked her to forget her name. She didn't forget her name. She was able to recite her name. Now, what was nice, she gave me that input afterwards when she came out of hypnosis, saying that she was going through a divorce and right now her name was the one thing she really wanted to hold on to, and there was no way she was going to forget her name. And that shows you how the client, the person, is always in control of exactly how they respond to the suggestion. You can make the suggestion, as I did there with these two young folks, and they were happy to because they wanted to experience hypnosis. They bought into that contract of, you're going to hypnotize me and give me some suggestions. But for that lady, it wasn't going to happen. And it doesn't mean I was a bad hypnotist in that scenario. The same suggestion for these folks was given to that lady, but she's in control of what she accepts and what she rejects in terms of suggestions. So I hope you bear that in mind. I hope that makes sense, and I hope you bear that in mind, that some suggestions are going to be silly for some people and embarrassing for some people. The same suggestion could be totally and happily accepted by others, and you've got to be mature enough to know the difference, and as I say, read that person and make sure that you don't overstep the mark and make them walk away feeling embarrassed and having a negative experience of your street hypnosis. Street hypnosis is there to be fun, it's there to be entertaining, and from the person being hypnotized, it's there to give them an experience. When I get someone to forget their name, at some level I want them to be empowered. I want them to say, my mind is so powerful that I cannot say something I've said for years. I've been shouted at, the name I've been called from a baby, and now I've forgot it or can't say it. While it may sound silly at one level, think of it as very empowering to know that you can have that discipline. And if hypnosis can give you that discipline in a funny environment, it can give you that insight at a more serious level. I hope that makes sense. If there's not anything clear about that there, again, drop it a comment in the comment section below. Tell me what your thoughts are on this subject. Do you think losing your name is silly, is embarrassing, or do you think it's acceptable in most situations? Is there an age group you think you shouldn't do that on? Tell me what you think in the comment section below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, make sure you give it a like, and don't forget, click the big subscribe button and the bell notification button so it gives you a notification when there's a new video coming out from myself. In the meantime, I'm going to leave you with the previous video from these guys, so you can check that out if you haven't already done so. That's this video here. It's going to come up on the end screens any minute now, and when it does, you can just click on that and watch that if you're watching on the YouTube channel. In the meantime, see you next week.